Hi, I'm Kippi from KippiAtHome.com. Welcome to my home and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad y'all are stopping by tonight so we can craft up some gorgeous bows. The first bow we'll be starting in the series is going to be this elegant bow that I have hanging behind me on my blanket ladder that my husband so kindly made, and I will put a link to making one of those in the description below. But let me show you one I made at Christmas time using the same technique. And we've got Santa Claus ribbon and striped and red and everything. This is just gorgeous. Look at that. So you can use it for seasonal or for every day. Be looking forward to some spring and Easter baskets with these beautiful bows on there, and they are no fail. So let's get started and become bow experts in the next couple minutes. All right, let's get started. These are some ribbons I had in my stash, and I wasn't really sure which ones I wanted to use, but a combination of these in some arrangement. So I'm going to get started with the plaid one because I am mad for plaid. All right, I'm going to cut my pieces of ribbon to the length of 24 inches, and then I'm going to fold it down about 7 inches on one end. I can use my first ribbon as my template now to cut the rest of them. So I'm going to start cutting, and I'm going to cut 2 of each of my ribbons for a total of 8 ribbons cut at 24 inches long. This is 2.5 wide ribbon. This is a Dupioni. It is gorgeous. The way it captures the light, it's a dream to work with. But the orange I decided to eliminate from this project because it is not as wide. So I will just do 2 of each one of these. To make this gathering of the ribbon really simple, I will only have one hand to actually do the gathering with, because one hand I'm going to be holding it with. So I do a little pre-measure, and I measure the first one, and then I kind of just cheat a little bit, if you will, and I kind of turn them all down. So you can see that I'm turning them down, and then I put them in little piles or stacks in their color. So put the yellow on the yellow, red on the red, green on the green, and of course the plaid on the plaid. And then I pick them up in that same color order once, and then it go through a second time. To tie my ribbon together, to hold it together, I like to use wire. You can use the pipe cleaner or the chenille stem, but I really like the wire. And I like to fold that in half, just like the ribbon, so it makes it easier when you're working with one hand. So you can just kind of fold it in half, and you find that center. So I just kind of leave it there, and just kind of all the elements are there waiting. And make sure you get that good pair of wire cutters, and I'll put the link to that below, as well as the floral wire. And I have a zip tie, and you can cut the zip tie perfectly with that wire cutter as well. So I'm just going to gather that up about, 3/4 of an inch up from the cut end on the loop. So I want to make sure that all my cut ends are on the same side, because that's going to be the wrong side of the bow. So these little wires that are the wired ribbon that makes it so glorious, they can be a little bit of a nuisance if you don't trim them. So they might stick out. So if you need to trim them, just go ahead and do that. Probably should do that before you get started, but I couldn't wait. So now I'm going to just kind of hold it in my left hand. I'm right-handed, and whatever is more comfortable. And then I'm going to work that same way with kind of squishing it, pinching it into the middle. This bow would be so pretty for spring, even summer. And you saw my Christmas one is definitely glorious. This one looks like fall. So I will definitely be keeping that for some fall decor. And you could do an everyday one using that burlap. You could use it for a wedding. Just use all colors that you want in your decor and do that combination. Or it could be all out of one color in one style of ribbon. Or the combination of each one is different. I've even done this one at Halloween. It's really fun. So make sure you have those neat, and your bow will be so easy to fluff. You won't have any trimming to do except for your tails. I got all my little ribbons pinched together in the center. You can either use a pipe cleaner or you can use wire. And of course I had the wire there ready for me. And so I'm going to put the wire around and find that center spot, and the wire as well as where I have it all pinched. I'm going to go around it twice because I like to be nice and tight. So I'm going to go around it twice, and then I'm going to twist it around itself, and then I'm going to use the bow as part of my twisting mechanism, if you will. So I'll twist that around a few more times. That'll double up on my safety here that my bow is going to stay nice and tight as I fluff it. I am going to zip tie it as tight as I possibly can. And then I'll use those wonderful wire cutters and I will cut it off as close as possible. And then I'm ready to fluff, and I'm going to be very careful not to cut off my wire ends. Those wire ends are very important because they're going to use those to attach your bow to your decor, your wreath, or whatever it is you're going to use your bow for. Maybe it is some lanterns or an outdoor fixture, a swag. They make beautiful bows for any decor. Now we're ready to start that fluffing process. And you really won't be finished with the fluffing until you have it attached to your wreath or wherever it is you're actually going to use this bow. So you saw that beautiful bow that I had on the Christmas wreath in the beginning. So this one doesn't have as long tails. It's actually, didn't have that much ribbon. So I was just using it as a sample to show you. So the ribbon cutting for really long tails like that, you'd cut at least 30 inches long. Now these were only 24 and this makes a smaller bow, but you can even go past 30 inches. But just use a piece of ribbon before you cut it and just kind of play with it and see if that's how long you want it. You can always cut the tails off, but I hate to throw the ribbon away. But this is a perfect use of, if you have a piece of 30-inch ribbon, you can keep it and put all those ribbons together and make one of these fun bows. So you can treat the tails any way you like. I like the chevron. Sometimes I cut them straight across or at a diagonal, but you can go along and do them any way you want. And then how you fluff it, you might want to make sure that, you don't have all the reds together and all the greens together and, kind of just distribute it. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you'll subscribe and ring the bell and join us for some more crafting ideas. I have a whole bunch of bows to share with you. I love bows, and I just got a big shipment of ribbon that came in the mail, and I can't wait to open it, and I will definitely be sharing that with you. I'm giving this gorgeous bow its final fluff, and there are those little wires to attach it to the wreath. And I'm going to attach it to a wreath that I use for a sample, as well as this bow is a sample. And I really appreciate you joining me tonight, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.